Good afternoon. My name is Thomas Brickner. I'm the instructor for Physical Science 1121 for Fall 2019, the online section. We're going to just have a short video here about getting started, the main procedures, exam schedule, and so forth. Let's get to it. The first week is pretty topsy-turvy. A lot of people dropping and adding and stuff like that. So what I want you to do is, first of all, take the attendance quiz. That's homework 0. And then you can start skimming the free textbook. Here's a page from it. And it's really more like lecture notes. It's my writing, and it's free. So this is what we'll consider to be the textbook for the semester. And use it to support lecture, to back up lecture, and because it will elaborate on the things that I mentioned in lecture. And it's got other, it's got diagrams and tables and whatnot. So go ahead and start skimming that and look at the images and the diagrams and so forth. And you'll also see some notation, some annotations, and I'll be adding those more and more as we go through the semester. And they're also very good to skim. And you'll see what those are as soon as you click on them. Familiarize yourself with the syllabus page as well. Here's what it looks like. And it just has, just general syllabus type information. For instance, here's the different points that you can get for the semester. And we're going to go over through some of that right now. So let's take a look at procedures. Um, Mainly what you're going to be doing, you're going to be taking midterms and a final exam. That's where most of your points are from. But you're also going to view and study lectures in YouTube that are pre-recorded. You'll also be reading and studying in the free textbook. So the main procedure is, you know, view and study the lectures and YouTubes, read and study the textbook, and then from that go and tackle the homework, and that'll be in web courses, right? And after you tackle the homework, you may want to go back and review some of the lectures in YouTube. That's normal. In fact, I encourage you to do that. It's a good study technique. The homework is a study tool. You're going to have at least four attempts on each assignment, sometimes more. And that will allow you to do this cycle. Take it, go back and read, or listen to the YouTube. So you might want to go back and read the book. So this combination of studying and homeworking will prepare you to go into the midterm exam. And so that's the study cycle. And there is one last addition to it, and that is we sometimes have online office hours. Those are optional, and I'll schedule them usually at night, from 8 to 9 or something on a Thursday night or a Monday night or something like that. And just go over calculations and different questions you may have. And if you can make it, you're welcome. If you can't make it, you can't make it. And but I always record them, and so if you can't make it, you can go and listen to the recording. It's a video, so you can view everything that we see in the online office hours. It works pretty good. Anyway, so we usually have one or two office hour sessions before each midterm. And of course, the final, hopefully, we'll have a online office hour session, and it really helps. Here are the things that we will do for points during the semester. We have homework, and we're going to have a ton of homework, and I'll scale that down to 50 points so that, whatever your percentage is in homework performance should be pretty high. You'll get that percent of 50 points. And that's 20% of your grade. Now, the three midterms, what we normally do is take the best 2 out of 3 midterms. So from those, you'll get 100 points total. And that's going to be 40% of your grade. And then the last 40% of your grade is from the final exam. And traditionally, during the end of the semester, like the last week or so, I set up a few bonus point assignments. They're never very big, so you still want to do all the homework you can and get all the exam points you can. But we will have a little bit of bonus point activity towards the end of the semester. Anyways, total 250. And here's how the grades work out. If you get 225 out of 250 at the end of the semester, after all the, after the final and everything, after all the stuff is done, then you'll have scored 90% or more, and that means you have an A. For a B, you have to get 188 points or more. For C, 150 points or more. For D, 125 points. That's 50% of the possible points or more, and you'll have a D. And then if you have below that, you'll have an F. And there's not usually a whole lot of D's and F's, and especially for people that do their homework on time, do a normal amount of studying, and don't procrastinate, and do try to do all the homework and studying the day before the midterm. You just do it, pace yourself through the weeks leading up to each midterm. You should be good. You might not get an A, but you probably won't flunk. And don't forget the homework counts for a lot. All right. So if you don't do the homework, it's going to be hard to have a good grade or even a passing grade. And usually when I give out Fs, which I occasionally do, and Ds, it usually traces back to bad homework, to tell you the truth. Sometimes students, they do fairly good on midterms, but if they don't have the homework points, that's a big chunk of change to be missing, and it's easy to get. So, I can't force anybody to do homework or anything else. So it's up to you. It's your responsibility to do that. One more thing. I do not grade on the curve, so don't even ask me about it. We just go by these points, and it sorts itself out pretty good, so I don't really need to grade on the curve. Now, here's another thing that you sometimes see. Nothing is written in stone. That is not true. Here is something that's written in stone, our exam schedule. And you just got to memorize this and totally engrave it into your mind because this is the schedule. We have so many students. We just have to stick to this schedule, keep things simple. All right, so September 24th for exam 1, October 22nd for exam 2, November 19th for midterm exam 3, and then the final exam is on Saturday, December 7th. The other 3 days for the midterms, those are Tuesdays. And so, but the final is going to be on Saturday of exam week, and that's the university free period. So hopefully everybody will have time for it then. Um, and the availability for the midterms, usually I started at about 10 o'clock in the morning, and then you have to submit it by midnight. So that's about 14 hours, and that should be plenty of time for everybody to get in a 1 hour block of time for the midterm. The final exam is a little bit bigger, so I usually start that a little bit earlier, about 8 o'clock in the morning. And again, it's due at 11:59 p.m. on December 7th. So that's, I don't know what that is. That's 20 hours. Okay. So now, the thing about this is, this is really written in stone. It's like a contract, and we're going to follow this contract. Now, one of the things, if you're absent for one of the midterms, then that's the one that gets dropped because it will effectively be a 0. And then, but we will keep the other two. So hopefully your other two grades are good. All right. Now, most of you are going to be there for all 3 midterms, so you don't have to worry about that. But if you are, for some reason you're absent, you can't take it that day, which I highly recommend against. But if it happens, then that's the dropped midterm. And of course, the final exam is mandatory. You have to take that, so nobody gets to drop that. But the midterms, yeah, we dropped the lowest of the 3 midterm grades. There are no makeup exams. Okay, no early exams, no late exams. It's just these ones. That's why I say, you know, This is the schedule, and we're going to hold to it. Okay. And the idea of keeping the best 2 out of 3 midterms is how we handle schedule difficulties. Now, let me just reinforce a couple things for the final exam schedule. Here's the final exam schedule in big letters. Saturday, December 7th. And so if you work off campus, you have an availability of 20 hours approximately. And that's got to be enough for you to do a full 8 hours day of work and still have time for the test. But you've got to work it out with your boss ahead of time. Do it now, because there's no leeway. You've got to fit into that window of availability. All right. Now the final is double the size of a midterm, so it's 100 points instead of 50 like the midterms. But you get over twice as much time. You get 170 minutes. So occasionally students say that the midterm, they feel, especially the first one, they feel a little rushed. But usually the final is the time pressure is off for the most part. So don't worry about that, but do worry about clearing it in your schedule. All right, and things will go good. All right. Now that's pretty much it for now. I'll see you in web courses, and welcome aboard.